Hey YouTube, I have a philosophical thought of the day for my channel. I was thinking about history and the way things have been over the last 100 years, and sometimes I like to imagine that all the stuff which ever happened with the 60s and hippies and even before that, like the Romans and Jesus and everything was could be like some sort of screwy version of my own life and my own development, and I don't makes no sense whatsoever, but I think it's a valuable exercise to think that way, because then you kind of take a personal responsibility for the development of culture and life. And I was thinking, especially over the last 50 years, yeah, I guess it's the last 50 years, and 50 years ago was 1960. Remember when 50 years ago was 1950, but now it's 1960. Crazy. Well, I was thinking about how, since the 60s, we had a rebellion and everything, and it got really crazy. In the 80s, you got punk, and then punk got really crazy, and now we got death metal, and pop music also has gotten crazy. It's everything's sort of separated into extremes, I think, musically. I mean, I'm no authority, really. I mean, I'm just saying all this crap from the very biased assumption that I have some sort of personal involvement in the development of culture, which of course I don't. Besides a very, very small one. But, using that scheme of thinking that I have a personal involvement in it, I think that since the 50s, we sort of rebelled to the extreme of ostracizing and antagonizing, different peoples and different cultures, and I think, it would make a lot more sense if we sort of gave up on this sort of rebellion, which I think, even from the beginning, even since the 1960s, when that kind of thing became more or less acceptable, it was supposed to be tentative, right? We were only gonna smoke pot until our parents let us do what we want, and then we were gonna give it up, or we were only gonna listen to rock and roll music until stuff got fixed with the war and with social issues, and it was all supposed to be for a reason, and there was causes, and now it's just sort of all sort of melted into a sort of a confusing mess of ideas and beliefs which people have, which don't necessarily collude with the sort of historical progression of their style and their cultures and the music that they listen to. They don't necessarily have a background which fits the sort of kind of culture they've joined into. And I think there's a lot of sort of stress and anxiety in culture today, and people today, and society today, because of that. And so that's why I think the whole rebellion thing, which I view as sort of starting in the 40s with the beatniks and 60s, and this is my own very biased view, has sort of gone to an extent which has probably gone too far, and really the only sensible thing to do anymore, if you want to make any kind of statement at all, is just to is just to be ordinary and be normal. That's the greatest rebellion of all, I think, in the 21st century, is just to be normal. Just to be normal is an act of rebellion, which I think is screwy as hell. But an interesting thought, a philosophical thought, which I will leave with you, the YouTube audience, to ponder today, this very rainy day.